Note the disclaimer. It's time we look at some of the darker moments of The Simpsons. Though not quite what it once was, The Simpsons is still one of those rare shows that has managed, most of the time, to remain smart, thoughtful, and topical for over 26 years. So what surprise is there that after a quarter of a century there's a few bad episodes?
Hey, put the chicken one back on!
Even then, there are very few episodes of The Simpsons I consider bad. Often the newer episodes nowadays are just... To me personally, the episodes on this list are either lazily written, boring, insulting, or just unpleasant to watch. So today, we're going to look back at the top 10 worst Simpsons episodes of all time. As always, there may be episodes on this list that you like. If so, it's good that you were able to get more joy out of it than I was. After all, at the end of the day, it's just my silly personal opinion. Anyway, enjoy the countdown. Number 10. Boys of Bummer. This episode is about all the people of Springfield obsessing continually over baseball. While Bart is probably my least favourite character, even I don't think he deserved treatment this cruel. He misses catching a final baseball and the city hates him for it. Because, you know, a stadium will continually boo out a 9-year-old boy for missing a catch. And not just boo him out of the stadium, but throw beer cans at him, mock his father for ever creating him.
Hey, that's the guy what created him. If Homer had used some protection, we'd all be pooping roses on Easy Street.
And even drive him around the crowd in a police car so they can keep attacking him.
Boo. Boo indeed.
Oh, look, Bart's crying. Isn't that funny? Oh, he's gone insane from his continual torture from the town. Funny? Oh, now he's attempting suicide. Oh, come on. We've come to expect low jokes like that from Family Guy. But The Simpsons we know is better than that. And even after he attempts suicide, they still taunt and mock him. What the hell has happened to Springfield? I realize that the creators are trying to do this ironically, but it just comes across as unusually nasty by Simpsons standards. And it's a joke they drag across the entire episode, and it wasn't that funny to begin with. The saving grace of this episode is there's a fun side plot with Homer accidentally becoming a mattress salesman, which is pretty damn funny to watch. But I've heard teenagers say they hate this episode so much that it actually turned them into angsty teenage emos. True or not, I still found this a pretty terrible episode, and more than worthy of the list. Number 9. All singing, all dancing. In pretty much every series ever aired, there's a golden rule. There's very few episodes worse than clip shows. They're normally a way to conserve the animation budget by using old footage from previous episodes. Their excuse being that the characters are reminiscing on old times. This tends to annoy the viewer because if you wanted to see older episode footage, you'd watch the older episodes. The Simpsons family begins singing corny, reminiscent songs about the TV, mixed with previous footage to kill time. I mean, do you remember the B Sharp song? Or Spring in Springfield? Or Apu's Quickie Mart song? Or maybe the Monorail song? Of course you do! We've all heard these songs a million billion times in reruns.
Mono, don't!
Maybe this episode would be good if you wanted to show someone younger who'd somehow never watched one of the 100 million reruns on free TV of seasons 2 to 10. But even then, it's corny, it feels sloppy, and it comes off as annoying. I personally tend to skip this one. Number 8. Papa Don't Leech. This is one of those particularly weak late season episodes. Do you remember Lurleen? Well, she's homeless and sleeping in a gutter.
Oh, come on.
Thanks, Marge.
And you can't help but feel sorry for Lurleen throughout the entire episode. There's absolutely nothing wrong with her as a person. She's talented, polite, caring, and thoughtful of others. Hell, she's even a stellar cook. So why does the entire town seem to treat her like garbage? And it's kind of sad to watch how Lurleen never moved on from Homer. She's really just not been given any breaks by the world, and it's far more sad than funny to watch. They also kind of awkwardly discuss Lurlene's daddy issues, who then proceeds to abandon Lurleen a second time, which wasn't really funny or interesting. He was just kind of a jerk.
How could a man just abandon his family? By which I mean, what is the method he would use, and could anyone do it?
Even Homer's acting out of character in this episode, asking things like, how could he also abandon his family? He even dreams of murdering his father because he thinks he'll be a burden in old age. I'm sorry, but we've established by season 19 that Homer is a better person than that.
Lisa, wake up! They're taking Angelica to Mount Purgatorium!
By Simpsons standards, this episode is just not smart. Lurleen was a character that deserved a dignified ending, so I tend to skip this one. And for number 7, another Simpsons clip show. No, I'm not announcing what it is. That is the literal name of the episode. If they don't even try with the name, what chance does this one have? They're very self-aware that they're recycling old content. I mean, Lisa even openly states it.
It's a new episode.
Not exactly. They pieced it together from old shows, and it seems new to the trusting eyes of impressionable youth.
But we're still getting a continual barrage of old content that 99.9% of us have seen far too many times. Perhaps if the first 10 seasons of The Simpsons hadn't been on constant reruns for the past 20 years, these clip shows wouldn't be so bad. But they're just an absolute snore, because most of us can quote each one line for line at this point. It's another Simpsons clip show, and another one worth skipping. Number 6. Homer's Night Out. Bart gets a spy camera, and he uses it to take a secret photo of Homer at an office party, who dances next to another woman. Oh no! And this photo somehow spreads all over town within days. Oh, for goodness sake, he's dancing next to a woman. He's not even dancing with her. Why is this picture somehow the talk of Springfield? Is Springfield really so boring at this point that a fat man dancing next to a woman is the talk of the town? And Marge isn't just upset. She is enraged to the point of throwing things at Homer and yelling him out of the house at night. So, burning down the church or filling an alcohol-free city with liquor, sabotaging a NASA rocket, that's all fine. Yet, dancing next to another woman is horrible? Apparently Marge is mad because by Homer dancing next to this very friendly, talented dancer, Homer was treating her as an object. Really, Marge?
Come on, Marge! Please forgive me!
Yeah, Marge better lighten up and become the kind and understanding wife we know soon, or she's really gonna have a tough 25 years ahead of her.
This is the worst thing you've ever done.
You say that so much it's lost all meaning.
I don't think I'm a misogynist, but this episode was just lame. In the end, though, it is just the first season, though, so we can all laugh and smile at how silly it is. I know it's cheap to take pot shots at season 1, as the characters are still being established, but it's still such a silly, cheap premise for an episode. Number 5. The Musk Who Fell to Earth.
Oh my god.
But this episode reminds me of another episode I dislike. There isn't really any standard plot for it. It feels like it's just the Simpsons writers in blind awe of having Elon Musk in the studio. Elon Musk is a very bland voice actor. I feel like I'm falling asleep every time I listen to him.
I don't care about the money. The whole monetary system is just a series of interconnected, heterogeneous data.
Well, but Elon Musk's constant overbearing presence, combined with his flat, emotionless delivery, makes it a pretty hard episode to swallow. Oh, just you wait. We'll get to you soon. And for number 4, 8 Misbehaving. Occasionally a Simpsons episode will feel to me disquieting and ugly. 8 Misbehaving is one of those episodes that just makes me feel very uncomfortable. Homer tries to make Apu and Marjula pregnant because Marjula decides she wants a child. We slowly watch how unstable their marriage is, and then they're suddenly hit by 8 newborns. Of course, Apu is absolutely horrified. Isn't that funny? I actually haven't seen an episode of a show that so perfectly captures the ugliest parts of marriage, and spends the whole episode dragging this point out. The jokes aren't terrible, but the premise is just really unpleasant.
Oh, I just had the most beautiful dream where I died.
Oh, no, you don't. Not till they're out of college.
Listen, I'll die when I want to.
To tell you the truth, when I first saw this episode at 7 years old, it made me decide I never, ever wanted to have children. Ever. I guess I tend to dislike episodes that make children out to be mistakes.
Hide the little blessings.
Ooh, they're a ravenous swarm of locusts, just eating and screaming and grabbing and poking and pulling and drooling.
Personally, I prefer Jim Henson's take on it.
You give people the greatest gift that can ever be given. Children? No, the other gift.
And for number 3, My Sister, My Sitter. This one isn't mentioned much, but it's another one I just found painful to watch. It's mainly just about Bart being cruel to Lisa as she tries to be a babysitter around the town. Aside from that, the writing in this one just felt lazy. There's a couple of good jokes with Homer, but why would I want to watch Bart make Lisa's life so miserable? Oh, jeepers, it's like watching a 3-year-old tantrum. How am I supposed to like this kid? It's not funny, it's not pleasant, it's just watching Lisa have to suffer through Bart. He's not even doing clever antics. They're just what you'd expect from a 3-year-old.
I thought I told you to go to bed. Yeah, right, bread. You said go to bread.
Oh, go to bread. That's about the most unfunny joke I've ever heard in my life. I disliked this one when I was a kid, and I found I disliked it just as much as an adult. It's just watching Lisa be continually tortured by Bart. How is it pleasant or even remotely funny? Oh, poor Lisa. You've probably already seen this one and made your own opinion, but I tend to skip it. And for number 2, Love is a many strangled thing. Bart wets himself in front of the entire stadium of Springfield, so Marge forces Homer into counseling because of this, where he is traumatized by being continually strangled. And I mean honest-to-God post-traumatic stress disorder. It's an incredibly awkward and unpleasant episode. We then watch the extent of Bart's cruelty as he continually tortures his father. This is even more cringeworthy to watch. I just don't get some comedy. Post-traumatic stress disorder is funny? Humiliation is funny? Why are the writers trying to make me want to see Bart strangled? I thought I was supposed to empathize with this kid. Then Bart lets his father be hanged right in front of him, and he doesn't care.
Anything?
Can't look. Texting.
Oh, God. This one was unpleasant to the core, and definitely worthy of skipping. This is almost as bad as The Simpsons get. Almost. And without any doubt, the number 1 worst Simpsons episode of all time is Lisa Goes Gaga. I loathe this episode. There's good episodes of The Simpsons, then there's bad episodes, then there's crap episodes, then there's Lisa Goes Gaga. This is among the most sugar-coated, contrived garbage I have ever witnessed. It makes me long for the worldly cynicism of Barney the dinosaur. Here's an idea. Let's spend the entire episode watching Lisa be miserable and placating the ego of an already egocentric singer. In fact, let's make her out to give worldly advice to Lisa in her cereal box 2-year-old happiness philosophy.
I had some very tough times myself before I became a superstar at age 22. Everything is gonna be fine. You better yet?
Now let's drop all character development we have ever given Lisa over the last 26 years and make the entire town of Springfield grovel at Gaga's feet. This can be done well. Michael Jackson's guest appearance was humble, dignified, and heartwarming.
Happy birthday, Lisa.
This absolute garbage is not even comparable to Michael Jackson's appearance. I was so outraged and infuriated when I saw this contrived crap that I stopped watching Simpsons for a year afterwards. Most of the guys I know hated this episode, but what's interesting is to see that women I know hated it even more. One woman I knew even said it's so hypocritical that she pushes herself as a feminine role model. She's appealing to a young generation with nothing. Oh, the ego on this woman is just too much to bear. Where does this pride come from? From stripping yourself half naked and writing contrived crappy songs? How did we manage to build up a shallow, wind-up pop singer as the messiah of life. Growing up, Lisa was a role model to me. She was independent, and she never gave up. She was kind, but she had her limits. She was thoughtful, and she always stood up for what she believed in.
The truth must be told.
Despite all the things that makes Lisa a strong and independent character for children of all generations, she can apparently be molded by a plastic wind-up doll like Lady Gaga. Everything Lisa has been over the last 26 years is forgotten as she turns into jelly in front of this egotistical, hypocritical, damage-walking drag show. This is the lowest fan-rated episode of The Simpsons over the last 26 years, and this time I can completely agree with fans. Viewers were insulted, fans were insulted, I'm pretty sure Lisa's voice actor was insulted. It was just an ugly, sickly, sweet mess that made me try to exorcise The Simpsons permanently from my mind. And that's why, in my opinion, Lisa Goes Gaga is the worst Simpsons episode ever made. Ever. Whew. Despite these dark moments in The Simpsons, they're honestly a rare occurrence. And frankly, The Simpsons is an important part of history now. So for all the people complain about the series still going, a part of me is comforted to see it still there. As long as Homer's around, I'll always have that refreshing reminder of the joy I've gotten from The Simpsons for so many years. Do you think I missed a bad one? Which episode's your least favorite? Let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.